want to do when you're making this cake is you want to measure out all your dry ingredients, and unfortunately, you're gonna wanna sift them. This is not something I usually tell you to do, but there is cocoa in this. So in my sifter, I had a cup of flour, half a cup of cocoa powder. I also added a cup of sugar into there. That's gonna help agitate it, help it sift quicker and less messily. It doesn't poof out everywhere. I also added in a teaspoon of baking soda and half a teaspoon of baking powder. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt as well, but I'm gonna add the salt in outside of there because I usually use kosher salt, so it's a little bit grainier.
It doesn't go through, yeah.
Doesn't go through. So you just end up seeing it at the end. If you see these little kind of, what are those called? Nubs?
Chocolate boulders?
Chocolate boulders. Chocolate boulders from the mountain, from the Berg. In there, just give them a little bit of a press through. Cocoa powder has a little bit of fat in it, and that's what makes it kind of clump up. So you always want to give it a little bit of a sift. Okay, that is looking beautiful. Fantastic. Now we're going to get to work on the wet ingredients. So give that a good sift, a good whisk. And for the wet ingredients, we're gonna go in with half a cup of buttermilk. The buttermilk's gonna react.
Love it.
Right, I love a buttermilk.
Anyway, anytime I can use buttermilk, I'm using it.
Because you buy that liter and you're like, I made biscuits once, what do I do? Exactly. You make this cake, it's gonna be great. So half a cup of buttermilk is gonna go into my bowl. Then into there I'm going in with just a quarter cup of oil. This is gonna make a single layer cake. It's not gonna be one of those big tall ones, but it's gonna be beautiful. Then I'm gonna go in with 1 egg, as well as a little bit of vanilla extract. Now, the vanilla doesn't really make it taste vanilla-y. It just makes the chocolate taste more chocolatey.
Yeah.
So always a good thing.
Yeah, like espresso can do that
blood.
too. The instant.
This lady knows what's up. I never measure my vanilla. It's like the way I'm like a little bit of a rebel in the kitchen. If you want to, feel free. But I'm always like, oh my gosh, I'm so fancy.
Garlic and vanilla.
It's the same. Why would you measure? Measure with your heart, you know? All right, give that a good whisk. Now I'm gonna add this wet into the dry. And this is gonna be a really thick seeming cake batter. You're gonna be like, Mary, this is more like kind of a brownie or something like that. But then we're gonna do something that's kind of funny. Since we've got cocoa powder in there, you actually kind of wanna bloom it. So when it's almost mixed together like this, I'm actually gonna go in with half a cup of hot black coffee that you got hanging around in your coffee maker. Add that right on in. Give that a stir. That's gonna make that cocoa bloom. It's gonna taste more chocolatey and beautiful. And now this batter is going to be weirdly thin. But don't worry, it's going to rise beautifully. It's gonna be nice and level, which is an absolute dream. So we'll get that nice and mixed together. You'd wanna mix it until there aren't really lumps, but not much past that, because you don't wanna produce too much gluten in here. But now here I have got a baking pan. You'd wanna give that a little bit of a spray with some nonstick cooking spray, but I'm gonna add that batter right on in. And then we're gonna pop that into a 350 oven just for about 30 to 35 minutes, just until it's baked and risen and looking absolutely beautiful.
You know what I love? You know what I love? That it's 1 layer.
I love the 1 layer.
Is that it's achievable. Like you don't want to like do the whole stacking and.
Sometimes you see them and you're like, I don't want to make a mountain. I want a little cake. Yeah, it's so good. All right, now we're gonna get to work on the cherry mixture that's gonna go on there because I love that cherry chocolate combination. So good. So I've got a pan here, just sitting on the stove. It's not overheat yet, but we're gonna mix together our dry ingredients first right in that pan. So the first thing I need is half a cup of sugar. Basically, we're making kind of like a cherry pie filling, kind of sort of, that's gonna go on top of this beautiful cake. So in goes that half cup of sugar. Then I'm gonna go in with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. That's gonna help thicken this up a little bit, give it that glossy, glossy beautifulness. Perfect. Little bit of salt just to counteract all that sugar. And then since I don't have a pocket and I do need some nutmeg, our friend Joe made this for me. Isn't it cute? And look, it's got my little nutmegs in it. It's my auxiliary nutmeg pocket. All right, we are good to go. Add a little bit of that in. I love that freshly grated nutmeg. It gives that little bit of lemoniness. It also kind of gives you memories of a donut, which is always a good thing in baking. Perfect. Give that a little bit of a whisk just to combine. Fantastic. Then we're gonna go in with our cherries. So I have got 2 cups of cherries here that I thawed and then I strained them. Keep that cherry juice because we're gonna use a little bit later, but it's also really great in a cocktail or in a little bit of sparkling water, super tasty. I'm going in with those 2 cups of cherries, 2 tablespoons of water just to help kind of thin this out a little bit. And then this is where we get kind of fun. I'm going in with a little bit of brandy. Why not? If you want to go traditional, you could definitely use kirsch, which is a cherry brandy. About 2 tablespoons of that goes right on in. 2 tablespoons is a shot. All right, give that a mix just to combine. And the reason I did the dry ingredients first is that cornstarch will not dissolve in that if you do the wet first and then add it in. So that gives it a little bit of time to kind of dissolve in. Bring that to a simmer over medium heat and cook that down. It's gonna start to get clear and jammy and beautiful, and you end up with something that looks like this. Super delicious, really wonderful. Now, for a little extra flavor, I'm going in with just a touch of some almond extract because I love it. Again,
Mary.
I feel like I read Andrea Bucket's
Honestly,
diary, and you know what I want.
Almond extract and cherries, like a match made in heaven.
Literally,
Yes.
so good. Any sort of stone fruit with a little bit of almond extract is so, so nice. I always add it in at the end, though, because the heat will actually cook off a lot of that flavor. We don't necessarily want that. Okay, perfect. That's looking beautiful. I'm going to bring this over here. I have got a cake that I have baked off and I've cooled. If you want to, you could also do this next step while it's warm. It'll soak in really nice. But I've also poked some holes in with a fork. Now, what I'm gonna ask you to do here is get a little bit of that cherry juice we've got right here that you reserved, about 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna add a little spike of some brandy just for flavor.
Why not?
Does that sound good? Listen, everyone thinks Oktoberfest is just for the beer, but apparently here on Das Guten stuff, it's also about the good old brandy. All right, give that a little bit of a stir, and I'm just gonna kind of spoon that over top, just so it goes into all of those little holes. If you did this in the pan, you could just pour this over and it would just soak in. Oh my gosh, I'm very excited about this. Keep adding it, it's gonna be beautiful. I'm gonna transfer this onto a plate. Now, to top that, obviously a little bit of whipped cream is always a good thing. So we're gonna go on with just some lightly sweetened whipped cream.
Ooh, yeah.
Give that a bit of a swirl.
Oh, baby.
Already.
What a dream. A little bit of some of this cherry situation, warm or cooled. So, yeah, that's really good. And then last but not least, just in case it's not enough, I'm also gonna go on with some chocolate, because you need those little chocolate curls. So
for
you could
sure.
buy them, you could use a cheese grater, but I'm gonna just get my chocolate bar, nudge it up to the side of my
Makes
hip.
me nervous.
And I know, Shahir,
I
get
get
ready.
scared for you now.
Hold on. We're just gonna scrape a knife over the top of a chocolate bar. Right now, it looks like absolutely nothing's happening. You're like, Mary, this is boring. But then, look at all those beautiful chocolate shavings, you guys.
nice.
Pop those right on top, and you are in for an absolute treat. All right, I have to get Andrea Bucket a slice
Yes,
of this. I'm
you
gonna
do,
find
Mary.
you
I mean,
a little bit of a
that's
knife.
the only reason I showed up today.
I
is for the
know.
cake.
You were like, there is a delicious cake with your name on it.
What about Shahir and I?
They're coming up. But Andrea Bucket,
Come on.
this one's just for you.
Thanks,
Guys, you
girls.
get the rest of the cake. How's that?
Alrighty, do it.
Fantastic.
Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.